Very warm welcome to all. We are reading I Am Mohanji Volume 2, Grace Leads to an Enlightened State. We are on Chapter 16, Other Many Experiences. And the subtitle we are going to start today with is We Are Abundance. I had been visiting my parents' home. My mom gave me a nice fresh mango to eat. Just then I remembered I had to go meet a cousin of mine staying only 2 blocks away. I hurriedly ate the mango and rushed out. I reached my cousin's home. While I waited for the elevator to arrive, an anxious thought sprung up. In my rush, I had only casually wiped my face after eating the mango. I had a feeling that probably it still must be all over my face and was giving a feeling of embarrassment. I wished I had checked myself in the mirror before leaving the home. The elevator arrived. As I entered, to my astonishment, I found a big wide mirror inside the elevator. I could now relaxingly look if I had any leftovers spread on my face, and I was all set to do the visit. This incident happened soon after we did the abundance program with Mohanji. This definitely is an experience of abundance. Nature has provisions for things even before we may need them. Apologize. I was worried about not having looked into the mirror, and the mirror miraculously got provided to me to satisfy my need. This is what being abundant means. Not abundance as we may understand as a big mountain of wealth or so. If we closely observe the happenings in our life, we will surely notice abundance. There is a story of a monk who comes across an expecting mother while he had been visiting door to door collecting alms. He is surprised to learn that there is enough provision of milk in a mother's breast even before the baby is born. He drops down his begging bowl in the very instance. He understood he need not worry about his next meal. He could well fathom the greatness of the Almighty. If we look back on the life we lived until now, we see that at every step in time we have been provided everything. All requirements have been fulfilled. We need to rise above our anxieties. We need to trust in the Almighty who has brought us to this world. We need to give ourselves a chance. We need to understand that we have this capacity to feel. We need to feel that we have huge potential to raise our frequency unlike any other species. The animals and birds do not have these faculties to do the exploration. We do have. We can't waste a human birth. Life is abundant. Feel the abundance. The next story, the subtitle is Gives Dupatta. It is also the cover page story. You can see this cover page. This is at Pune airport when Mohanji was visiting us, and it is me standing behind him and bringing him, receiving home, having the honor and the privilege to bring him under the shade of the sacred chhatri, the umbrella. We will read the cover story now. I was all set to receive Mohanji from the airport. I had been managing things for the big event to its utmost details. I chose to wear the best dress from my wardrobe. When the time came to leave home, I somehow forgot the dupatta, which means stole, back home. I got reminded only as we drove. I did not feel good about it at all. I did not wish to be incompletely dressed on this big occasion of receiving God and bringing Him home. Nothing much could be done about it though. We had to reach in time, and so I discarded all the many options that mind brought me. It wouldn't be wise to make a stop at a passing store and buy a new one. It wouldn't be correct either to risk reaching late, because it was not just about me, but about the other companions as well who were with me in the vehicle. I sincerely prayed hard to Mohanji, a prayer very deep, asking him to arrange a dupatta for me. We reached the airport. Our eyes were now set on the walkway, trying to spot Mohanji among the crowd of arrivals. The yearning eyes would feel at rest only at the first darshan of Mohanji. We finally spotted him. I had been carrying a chhatri. A chhatri means decorative umbrella of honor for idols of God. as an expression of honor to Mohanji. The chhatri was neatly folded and wrapped in a long and narrow white colored cloth bag. The umbrella I carried is not of an ordinary status. It's an umbrella of honor. It couldn't be just kept anywhere on the ground. The spontaneous moments in the time are an important part in feeling the experience to its full. I tuck the umbrella close to my body with the support of the railing. Both my hands are now set free and I heartfully wave to Mohanji with both my hands. We have many pictures of the occasion. After the event of Mohanji's visit was fully concluded, we were cherishing moments by closely seeing the pictures. There was this picture of me waving with both hands. I noticed a white dupatta kind of a thing perfectly laid on my shoulder. I was very sure that I had forgotten to wear a dupatta that day. It all felt very mysterious. I zoomed out the picture to understand the mystery. All wonders, I figured out that it was actually the umbrella wrapped in the white cloth cover. It was perfectly placed to appear resting on my shoulder to give the effect of a dupatta while it continued to draw support from the railing I had been leaning on. This was Mohanji's way to answer my prayer. These movements of mine, like tucking the umbrella or waving with both hands, which we called as spontaneous, are actually orchestrated by the Sutradhar, which means the orchestrator Mohanji. He provided me with the dupatta is an inverted, that I much asked him for. This experience has given me immense satisfaction. Lord Krishna once responded to Draupadi's cry for help and blessed her with yards of sari never to be finished. Krishna, in the form of Mohanji, has responded once again to my shout for help. There is more to the story. I can recollect a moment from when I removed the umbrella from the cloth cover so to use it to shade dear Mohanji Guruji. I held the umbrella in one hand and the other hand was occupied holding the cover. I looked at the cover not knowing where to keep it so my hand could be free. Awareness talks to us all the time. It guides us all the time. But we somehow miss it. There was a subtle whisper from the divine that I felt that I could as well use the white cloth cover to function as a dupatta for the time being. I could just have laid it on my shoulder as a stole, and that way it would also set my other hand free as a dual advantage. It was a clear communication from awareness that the cloth cover that was there was indeed being provided to me and was an answer to my prayer. But I missed catching the subtlety. This is yet another experience to understand abundance and feel abundance. Mohanji is abundance. Here is the picture. You can see me waving with both hands as soon as we spot Mohanji on the walkway of the arrivals. And you can also see the umbrella which is resting on my shoulder. It's wrapped in white cloth bag. Mohanji provides dupatta is the title of the picture. Next subtitle, Rudraksh makes noise. I have a Rudraksh mala which is blessed by Mohanji. I had been wearing it on one of my air travels. We have been clearly instructed not to have it on while using the washroom. It would be wrong to say that I was unawares, but I can say that I was not very serious about the instruction. As I was getting up from my seat to go to the washroom, I got stopped by a very subtle but unignorable sound of jig jig coming from the mala. I looked at my wrist where I had been wearing the mala rounded in circles. The mala looked unusually stretched and loosened, like it would soon drop off my hands. I knew this was unusual because I have never had the feeling of the mala dropping off my hands. It usually stays comfortably tight and safely wrapped around my wrist. The jig-jig sound that it made was very subtle. One needs to be fully silent in thoughts fully present in the moment and in oneness with existence to hear them. Existence talks with us all the time. We need to increase our subtlety to receive them. The jig jig sound, a clear communication from Mohanji to guide me to take off the mala before making my way to the washroom. The instructions need to be followed to keep the sanctity. I understood my lesson well and have refrained from any action that affect the sanctity of the sacred mala. It is more than just an accessory. Next subtitle, traffic signal comes to my awareness. We are always living from the mind and doing things as per how the mind directs us. We need to give ourselves a chance to live in awareness, leaving the mind behind. We have this anxiety that if we keep our mind aside, it will disturb our effectiveness in society. From one of my experiences, I can share how effectiveness is not compromised and how things come to our awareness by themselves as we tread the path. I was driving. I was fully occupied with the thought of God. Means feeling myself a drop of the universal energy at work on the big canvas called the universe. I am fully attentive while I am driving. Being focused can be considered as good because our mind is fully focused on a singular activity and our concentration fully sharpened. This is one aspect of existence. There is another aspect of existence where we are inattentively, robotically doing things. There is no application from the mind. This can be considered a distracted way of doing things because the mind is not available in the present activity and is elsewhere. There is yet another aspect to existence, that is spontaneous movements. Things come to our awareness. What we need is total presence in the moment. While I was driving my car, I was fully absorbed in thoughts of God. Sometimes I'm so immersed that I feel that I'm not paying attention to the driving activity. At one juncture, while I was driving past a signal, my eyes spontaneously moved to check on the signal. It was green and I was good to continue driving. There are these spontaneous moments of energy that function within us. I did not feel at all as the initiator of this moment of lifting my head up or focusing my eyes to look at the color of the signal. It was happening by itself. It is very brief, like 4 to 5 seconds only, but the moments happened spontaneously. Awareness happened by itself. Effectiveness was not compromised. It is worthwhile for all of us to experience little moments of this beautiful aspect of spontaneity. Probably many such incidents would have already filled our lives, but we didn't notice them. Noticing them is important to feel that we are more than what we consider ourselves. There is huge potential. Such incidents are practical inspirations that strengthen our determination to explore aspects of existence to its depth. It also brings forth our false identification with personality to believe ourselves as initiators and doers of action. Life is happening by itself. We need a lot of concentration and a silent mind to taste awareness. Little experiences lead to more concentration, and we keep progressing on the path to ultimately experiencing spontaneous moments of energy as reality. There's one more short experience we will read for today. Subtitle is Camera Dysfunction. Mohanji very kindly has always allowed people to take individual pictures with him. When it was my turn to take a pic with him on one such in-person event, I posed in a kneeling position by Mohanji's side. Mohanji's hand spontaneously reached to bless me on the top of my head. I felt him tap on my head thrice. The motion was very quick. The camera swiftly captures the pose to its complete perfectness. The final picture leaves one ruminating on the amazing capture, a perfect DP pose. Another facet of this incident is that the camera person all of a sudden experienced a dysfunction of the camera. There wasn't any traceable reason. We heard the camera person say that the lens has got blurred. Efforts had to be put in to make adjustments and bring it back to a functioning mode. All this is happening while I have already occupied the space in the closest vicinity to Mohanji. This was like Mohanji bringing to pause. Pause is inverted. This was like Mohanji bringing to pause the time and space for me to cherish extra time to sit beside the lotus feet of my beloved master. While the technical team was left perplexed, secretly I knew it was all Mohanji's Leela. This is the picture that was captured. You can see me kneeling at the lotus feet of Mohanji and Mohanji blessing on the top of my head, tapping me thrice. We can stop here for today. Thank you for joining me. Always stay blessed. Jai Mohanji.